Okay, we're going to start off by loading up our logo into Fireworks. If your logo is too large, you might want to go to Modify, Canvas, Image Size. And a decent size for your logo would be 300 by 300. And you hit OK to resize it. Once you have the logo the way you want it, go to File, Save As. Go to Google Drive File Stream, My Drive, Website, Images. We're going to make this a flattened PNG. We're going to name it Logo, and we're going to hit Save. Then inside of Dreamweaver, we're going to open up our main index, which is the index underneath the site folder. We want our company button to point to our company folder, so let's right-click on Site. Create a new folder called Company. You can refresh to re-alphabetize that. Where it says Link, you can click the target and drag the target to the company folder. Then we'll say company /. I'm going to save my index and then close it. Then inside of my company folder, I'm going to need to create a new index, so a new file. Name that index, and we'll open that. I'm also going to want to make a new folder called CSS, and that's where we're going to put our CSS file. Refresh to re-alphabetize that. So inside of my index, I'm going to go to Css Designer. Under Sources, I'm going to do Create a new CSS file. I'm going to click on Browse. I'm going to open the CSS folder that I just created. And I'm going to name this website.css and hit Save. And then I'll hit OK. And in the code that will link to my CSS file. And you'll notice that we have our source code for our HTML, and then we also have our CSS file separate. The first rule I'm going to add is for the body. Press Enter, and I'm going to do my background color, and then put the background color you want for your website. You'll notice that in website.css it adds in that code for you. Then I'm going to click in the main section here. We can go back to design if you'd like. And I'm going to insert a header and then hit OK. In the code you'll see that you have a header added, and we have this yellow box here. If I click on the body and selectors, I can also add color to be whatever I want my regular font color to be on my page, and make mine white. I'm going to add a new selector for just header, and I want my header to be centered, so text align center. Then I'm going to go back to Files. I'm going to go to Images. Then I'm going to take my logo and I'm going to add it inside my header. So I'm going to erase this text I don't need. I'm going to take my logo and I'm going to drag it inside of that box. For my alt, I'm going to put logo. That should be centered on our screen. Next to my logo, I'm going to type out the name of my company. I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to change that to a heading 1. Go back to CSS Designer, add a selector for my H1, then I can change the properties for my heading 1 here. I can change my font size, I can do 400%, and that will change my text here. That can be whatever percentage you would like for it to be. And I can also add a selector for my image, so that's IMG, and I want this to be float left. Now the way to fix this issue is we need to add a new selector called .clearfix, and inside of clearfix we need to add overflow auto, and then we can tell our header to use the class clearfix, and it should fix the whole thing. Now if you wanted this centered in this box, there are multiple ways to do it. We're going to try line height. And here this will just move this down, so depending on what you put, it may or may not actually put it in the right spot, so you might have to play with it a little bit until you get it right where you want it. If your size is 300 pixels and your font is 400%, then 4 lines should put it directly in the center. When this looks good the way you want it, hit Save All to save everything, then head over to Files, select your top folder site and hit up to upload everything. Hit OK to put the entire site. Then everything will transfer. Then you can check your site to see if that shows up on your page. And here's how our site looks.